Hey YouTube, this is my review of the Star Wars Transformers Commander Cody to Freco Speeder. Now, as I mentioned in my last review, this was the worst figure of the line that I've had yet until I fixed it. More on that in a bit. So, when I first looked at this, I was thinking, okay, so they couldn't put a minifigure on included with it, or even put one on here because you ride it like this, and then. But I was wrong. This is the one where they get inside the little cockpit here, which you can't tell that's a cockpit unless you know the movie really well, or you remember that. So, and they could have made a little space right there to fit a minifigure, but they didn't because of how the transformation was. I'm not too happy. But I imagine they burned their brains out trying to figure out just how to make this thing transform from one mode to the other. So, you got guns on the front here, non-shooting. This is the shooting gun, but it's for the other modes, so I like to leave this off, actually. But that's when I'm not worried about losing it. Otherwise, I keep it in. And then, that's the one thing I don't like is, for a Star Wars Transformer, you should be able to shoot the little projectile in both modes the way it's supposed to be shot. So there should be a projectile here and then a gun here. So, it's got the nice little landing gear or whatever. I think they stay out when it's flying, but I'm not sure. And then a thing about these here, this one here, take it like this and just put it down and it's in the position. But these ones here, I don't really like them so much because when you're putting them down, and then see you bring this like this, and you bend this into the right position. No, this actually comes this way, see? And then in the process, you're kind of pushing it inward, and it's supposed to be outward. So it adds a little bit more work to those, but that's not too bad. This mode looks good, except this doesn't really look like a cockpit, like the paint detailing. Now we'll go on to the transformation. So for the transformation, you start with the legs, and you pull this down. And then you separate them. Or no, you lift this up, sorry, out of the way. And then you separate them like that. And then this little part here, it folds into the inside of the legs. And let's see. And then, there we go. And then you just fold it up in there so it's kind of around in there. And then you take these and you bend them like this to open them up. And then you turn them like this. And then you do a waist rotation. No, actually no, it goes this way. Sorry. So then these come around. Then you take, now this goes up and down like that kind of, won't stay until you do this step here, which is to fold these inside there and they lock it into place. You'll notice, when I first got these for my birthday, I think it was, yeah, from Grandma's birthday money or whatever, I wanted to see if I could figure out how to transform it myself, because I'd done the video, but right there, can't really see it, it's kind of, oh, you can see right there, it's kind of gotten bent a bit right there, so I was trying to pull this part out, but I couldn't, and then I realized it was because these were partially in, and I felt like I probably should have read the instructions on this one first, maybe. So then, what you do is you pull these out to the side, just kind of get them out of the way. You take this little top off here. And now you take this and you flip it around. The instructions say to leave it like that, although I prefer to fold it up like that. And then you take these here, so there we go, and they fit into there, like that, and then you pull these down. Now here's the part that made it the worst I'd ever had. When I first got this, if you see there's a little, that section right there, it was stuck up in here and I had to unscrew that part and use screwdrivers to get it out. I finally got it unstuck and did the clip fix and now it works okay. And then but the other side was really easy to do, and so that it basically didn't work at all until I fixed it. So then, yeah, you then pull the hands out after turning these. And then sometimes this this square piece here can turn, although I don't like it to, because it just makes it hard to get this into the right position and have the joint be where it's supposed to be. So I'm glad that they don't turn as easily. And this doesn't stay up very tall at the waist there. And then, if you see on the bottom of this, there's a little tab that comes out, and that becomes the handle for his gun. And that brings up another issue. When I first got the figure, because I'll show you on this hand here, see? So, you can see the hole in there. And then let me turn it around. Don't know if you can tell, but the hole's smaller on one side. So the hands, there's one direction the hands have to be on there in order for this to fit in. So, it's a pain in the neck to try and fit it in there with the other side. So I actually had to take the hands off and flip them around with their little axle or whatever you want to call it. So I actually had to flip them around to get this thing to go in there. Otherwise, this thing would get stuck in there, the peg would come off, and you expect pliers to get it out. And shooting for this thing is easy. You just put it in and shoot it. A little bit further back. Shoot you guys. So, I like the shooting mechanism. Although the one on the last review for the ATTE, the Clone Trooper, whatever, is a stronger hit. And then for articulation, I don't really like it, because, see, these can bend back, and they can't go forwards at all. So no bending, they can go here, and then you got turning here and bending up, and they can go like this, too. So, articulation on the arms is good. Bad down here, the head can turn. So, you can't go like, so, yeah. You can't have him kneel down on one knee and become part of the knighthood of knights. No, it sounds weird, but that's just what I think of when I bend these things down on their knees like that. So you can't do that. It's, terrible articulation with the legs. Everything else looks good. I don't mind the kibble in the back. The hands are great. And it's a nice figure. Doesn't stand up very well. But I like it as I do all the other Star Wars Transformers. And that is it for my review.